I'm not. No, Maurice. Anybody else? Seriously.
I'll end it impossibly.
What was that, Bob?
I'll end it impossibly if you like.
No, because I'm ending it impossibly. Okay.
You do it.
But Tom, I'm using your shirt, so you're helping me. So when Rob said he was doing, so for those who don't know, my husband Rob comes up with these wacky ideas quite frequently and acts on them sometimes, and usually would lose help. So we've done an exorcism show, we did The Future in 5 Minutes, and then today's The Impossible Show. So I had to come up with something for my part of The Impossible Show, besides playing the synthesizer. And I thought about all the things that aren't impossible, because they have been. So I was born club-footed. My left leg is shorter and was on backwards, and my foot was on backwards. But I was the first person who didn't have to wear one of those giant shoes with a giant sole, because they did experimental surgery on me when I was a tiny baby. And I'm standing here in front of you 64 years later, and I'm not nimble, but I'm standing and walking kind of normally. But that was impossible when I was born. That was impossible. So I brought my husband home from a bar 39 years ago today. May 19th, 1985, the Port Tavern in New Brunswick, New Jersey. And if you would have said to me, you're going to put up with this guy for 39 years, and vice versa, I would have laughed. That's impossible.
That is impossible. God damn.
And then here we are. So, when I moved to Pittsburgh in 1998, 26 years ago, I stood on Brillobox Boulevard in Frank Curto Park, looking downtown at the small city that we love here.
Right.
And I said, you know, I would love to be the IT director for this city, and I am. How did that happen? That's impossible. So I know that things, it's a much smaller job than you think. The scope is much narrower than you imagine. But at any rate, so things are impossible until they happen. But one thing I did when I was about 14 years old, I was a born-again Christian, but I bizarrely managed to read both Nietzsche and Ayn Rand in the same year. So Tom, would you stand up and show your shirt, please?
There you go.
Well, Tom just happened to be wearing this shirt today. We didn't coordinate. And that changed my life, because I was like, wait a minute. The meek shall inherit the earth, because the man wants to keep us down, and religion is a farce, and okay, whatever. So I told myself I'm going to eliminate the word if from my vocabulary when I was about 14 years old. I'm never going to say if. If this, then that. If I X, then Y. But more importantly, if I had done this, then something different would be here today. So somebody did you're rewriting the future, right? You can't, rewriting the past, rewriting history. You can't do that. So I have a couple of sayings in my life. I say the paint is dry on that wall, right? We can't go back and repaint that. We can repaint it, but we can't take the paint off. We can't start fresh. What's done is done. I wrote a song lyric called "Don't Wish for What Cannot Be." So I sort of compartmentalized myself my whole life that I would not have regrets. And this came very clear to me when my mom died in 2010, because the other members of my family were gobsmacked, because they were all full of regrets. I should have that, we should have this, if only that. But I had lived my whole life making sure that I was comfortable moving forward. I was comfortable moving forward, and I wasn't going to regret anything, and I've tried to live that way the whole time. However, there are things that, while I don't regret them, because you make the best decision you can at every minute of your life, there are things that are painful. Because life is. Because life is a sine curve, as I think Luke and I were talking about earlier. Up and down, you know, life, health, money, love, jobs, whatever. But you appreciate the highs, you write out the lows. So I'm going to take a minute and invite you to join me in something impossible right now. So whatever works for you, close your eyes or look down at the floor or stare into the near or far distance and just kind of just be in your own head for a minute here. I'm going to do the same. And I'd like you to pick something an event in the past, a relationship, a thing that happened, a thing you said or someone said to you. I don't want it to be devastating, so don't pick something that's painful just even to pick around the edges at, but something that's, get something in your mind that's just a little bit, it hurts a little bit. You can think about whether there were other people involved, maybe it was just you. Where was this? Where were you? What time of your life was this? I have something in my mind. And the thing is, it couldn't have been any different. It was the culmination of lives and circumstances and times and events that you can't control. You couldn't then and you can't now. And you can't fix it, but you can let it go a little bit. So let it go just a little bit. Take a deep breath and just exhale that it was what it was. And you're here today, and it's not possible to fix that thing, but it's possible for it to be a little less tender. And so thank you for letting me do that too. It's not impossible.